So we're currently in the process of putting together a little room, like a studio to record in. So I'm recording today from our living room, and part of that is I'm sitting on the floor, and that means they are also here, they are a welcome addition. Today is a momentous day, friends. Today is the day. Remember this? Except for the one thing that did materialize, which is a straight-to-DVD animated film called How the Hampsters Saved Winter. I've been looking for this thing for fucking months. And the only lead that I have is off the Dead Hamster Dance Twitter account, where the guy says that they have some, but he won't respond, and he hasn't responded to anything in years. What's funny is it's listed as for sale on the website. You can't buy it. It's not even listed on IMDb. The only thing that I have are these little screenshots of it that somebody else dug up. Well, so in the early 2000s, with the virality of the hamster dance, it was taken over by a badass. And with dollar signs in their eyes, they set out to make it a full-fledged franchise. They intended to expand on the idea of the hamster dance by introducing avenues of new merchandise, including a straight-to-DVD animated children's film called How the Hamsters Saved Winter. The film was available for purchase from 2009 to 2012 directly through the Hamster Dance 2 website. In a YouTube comment when they were asked about it, they stated that it was made during a very dark time in their life and they don't like to talk about it. It was confirmed that around 2,000 copies were sold. Which, with only 2,000 of them sold, I mean, if you could introduce infinite knowledge into the public eye, would you? I assumed that the film was, like, pretty much looking into the visage of God for around 25 minutes, and by golly was I right. The film opens with a beautiful 2000 CGI panning shot of what can only be described as actual heaven with the backing track of the greatest gift God has ever given to man. Here we go. The title card is when we meet our main characters, including a ferret named Frank, who is an opioid addict. The age of the CGI becomes much more apparent as the film starts with the hamsters watching a recording of their music video for their song, Calling All Kids, which fucks. Also, the audio mixing in the scene can only be described as fucking supreme.
There we are. Check out the drummer.
They then convince Hampton to start dancing, in which he proceeds to injure himself and then vows to never dance again.
Here I go. Oh, that's smart.
The next conversation they have, you get to see the wonderful personalities of each of our hamsters. You have Hampton, our fearless leader.
I can't wait. On the road again.
Dixie, who is Texan.
Down south, we used to say don't let the bed bugs bite. That's weird.
Fuzzy, who is Australian and also a serial liar.
Tomorrow we're gonna kick off the tour like wombats kick wallabies.
Oh, do they really do that?
Far as you know.
And then we have Hato. You can tell that she's Japanese from the Chinese symbol around her neck. They discuss that tomorrow is the first day of their tour, and also we learn that they only talk in one-liners. In the next scene between Dixie and Hato, Hato attempts to inform Dixie about the impending winter storm, but Dixie is fast asleep. And also we learn that the hamsters don't celebrate Christmas. The next day, we meet Frank, the ferret opioid addict with an infinite toolbox. The toolbox becomes very important later.
Tools, accessories, options, opportunities, all those items that help save the day when someone says, if only we had that. My motto, if you prepare, you'll never despair.
So they loaded in the back of the bus and are greeted by Dixie, who is carrying a box of only gloves. We are then informed they are on their way to Montreal for the concert, and Hato is being a fucking buzzkill.
In French, they pronounce it Montreal, and I'm not so sure we're gonna get there today.
They get a call from Hiram Strung, their tour manager, and Hiram says, "My people tell me your people are talking to their people, and there might be a people problem with the people in Montreal because the weather people haven't heard from their people up north." Dixie asks him to repeat it, and Hiram says, "My people tell me your people are talking to their people, and Mr. Strung informs them that they have a fucking job to do and to get in the goddamn bus."
So you're going, right?
Well, we're trying to figure out what.
Figure out? Go, go. The show must go on. Snow, no snow. You gotta go. We have a contract. Figure out. What's to figure out? Money, fame, my personal career as a manager. Important stuff.
Also, as a side note, I don't know who designed Hato, but would you? So they head off towards Montreal in their Hampton and the Hamsters-themed tour bus and end up in Rattleboro. You might be asking yourself, Rattleboro? Where the hoop-de-doo is Rattleboro? Well, the trip planner says that Rattleboro is some 272 miles south of Montreal. It's never actually disclosed where the hamsters live other than in their weird little hut. So I'm going to take full creative rights and say that they live in New Hampster, the hamster version of New Hampshire. So the brakes on the bus go out and the bus starts sliding around the road, and their solve is that Fuzzy will snowboard behind the bus to slow it down? Well, the plan works. The bus comes to stop right before a cliff, and we find out that Frank has overdosed behind the wheel.
Whoa there. That was a little tight.
Say, what's up with Frank?
I lost him on the headset. Oh.
Hato informs them that they have half an hour before they're snowed in and have to eat each other to survive. Fuzzy goes to find help, and Frank wakes up hallucinating.
Monty Ho, I want to make a deal. Hey, what's behind door number 1?
Upon Fuzzy's return, he lets us know that there's a ski lodge up ahead, and also that the bus was capable of driving the whole time. The gang appears in front of the ski lodge and are greeted by the visage of Baphomet, who is a huge fan. Unfortunately, the owners of the lodge are broke because the weather has been too nice, so no one gets stranded there. And not as a joke, they revealed their business model to be to create artificial snow in hopes to get people stuck nearby so they are forced to stay there.
Unfortunately, Dixie, you are one of the few people who stop here to find out.
These last 3 years, there wasn't enough snow to make people want to stop here. They kept driving higher up the mountain.
Don't you have snowmaking equipment?
We do, but it's broken and there's no money to get it fixed.
So the hamsters jump on the opportunity to help the lizard people and volunteer themselves to fix and redecorate the lodge to prepare for arrivals that they have no guarantee that will arrive. But then they learn that a bus full of their fans, obviously, have become stranded nearby, so the hamsters decide they're going to go save them in 2 shakes of a roo's tail. Frank and Fuzzy then begin vandalizing the owner's snowmobile.
Archimedes would be proud.
Archimedes?
Yeah, he was a ferret, you know.
A Greek ferret?
Absolutely.
The lodge owners are very excited about the prospect of the hamster saving their business because they are inept business owners who hoped that singing hamsters can save the day. Fuzzy and Frank approach the buses and advertise for the lodge, where they meet their friend Ken. Ken runs a kids' radio station. They all come back inside, and the hamsters come to the conclusion that they will not be going to Montreal tonight, so their fix will be to broadcast a free live concert from the lodge instead. These people have the scariest eyes. Who thought this was okay? Who sat down and was like, yeah, this fucks. This is, like, kids are gonna love this shit. Dude, if I saw this when I was a kid, it would haunt me. I'm 23, and it haunts me. Ken doesn't believe that he has the equipment to reach the nearest satellite to broadcast, so Frank, the opioid addict handyman ferret, believes that if they put the Doodler adapter plate in alcohol and cover it in feces, they'll have an adequate connection.
We soaked the deltoidal adapter plate with alcohol and ground it in the fresh deer droppings behind the snowmobile shed. I believe we could hit Canarsie with the signal from here.
The show begins and we get to see a music video for their song Time to Party, which fucks. After the show, the owner's business has exploded and the hamsters promise to play another show the next year. They are lying. The hamsters say goodbye as it reveals a long line of cars to go stay at the lodge, and the hamster dance plays in the distance. And then the credits play, and that's the end of the movie. If I could have any critiques for the movie, it would be that I have none. A couple of interesting things about the credits that you'll recognize now that you've seen the hamster dance video that we previously established. High Strung is never given a credit for a voice actor, and that bastard Bill Porfido is listed as a producer. But also, at the end of the movie, they put the contact information for the producers. Which, if you know me, which is great, but, you know, this movie came out in 2009. I mean, the chances that they still use the same emails or phone numbers, I mean, that would just be fucking ridiculous.
The number you dialed is not in service.
Also, there are some pieces of bonus content that came with the DVD. Like you can see all the music videos that were played in the movie, so you can see the whole thing for Calling All Kids. But also, there's this, like, minute-long thing that's a bunch of just dance moves, which is great. Super cool. Today's video is sponsored by our good friends me over at the Discord. I put the link to the Discord at the bottom of every video. It's very cool. You should join it. There's a bunch of people in it. There's me. There are other people there. There are other people in it too, I promise. Pippa Pig, I'm recording the video, Pippa Pig. Pippa Pig, please. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. If you made it all the way through, I'm so sorry.